Hi there, my name is Jim Womack. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Family Support Services of Amarillo. I've been in this position since 2013, and I'm very proud to work here and proud of everybody that works here and volunteers here, and I'm glad you're taking some time to learn a little bit more about us. So what I'd like to do today is kind of like go over, kind of the history of Family Support Services, where we came from, what we do, and where we are headed in the future. So, Family Support Services of Amarillo, we've been a private nonprofit for quite a few years. Right now, we serve over 25,000 people per year, including victims of sexual assault, family violence, and human trafficking, at-risk children, families, and individuals in the Amarillo Canyon area, area residents in need of counseling, and veterans, family members, and surviving spouses. So our vision is one of having a community where individuals and families are healthy, stable, and violence-free. And this actually encompasses all of our programs, whether it's our emergency safe house, our Veterans Resource Center, and the other programs I'm going to go over here with you. Our history, we actually trace our roots back over 100 years. We trace it back to 1908. When there's a group of local businessmen who got together and formed what was then known as Associated Charities. So if you're here in Amarillo and you're driving around or have lived here for quite a long time, you would probably recognize some of the names of the gentlemen that helped originally formed what later became Family Support Services. There's like Nunn Electric, Ross Rogers. If you're a veteran or have a veteran in your family who benefited from the Hazelwood Act, Mr. Hazelwood he's actually an attorney in Canyon, and he was part of the group that kind of helped our organization over the years. So we have a long history. In 1927, they renamed that organization the Social Welfare Association, to kind of better fit what the organization did. Some of the services they provided then are different than they are now, but there's still a lot of the things that you would recognize, services provided back then that we provide now. 1949, the Social Welfare Association combined with what was called the Travelers Aid Society, and they actually merged to form Family Service of Amarillo, which is a familiar name, and I believe that's part of the reason we're named Family Support Services now, or Family Support Services of Amarillo. The location of that building there you see in that slide, that was actually where our Civic Center is now. So that was torn down when they built the Civic Center and moved to a different building off-site. And it later became known as Family Guidance Center, which the main focus at that time was providing counseling services to individuals and families. So back in 1975, another group of community stakeholders got together and formed the Amarillo Rape Crisis and Sexual Abuse Service, and that was to assist rape survivors and their families. That was nothing like that had really been done around here before then, so that was a great organization. And in 1978, the Domestic Violence Council was formed. So in 79, the planning began on assessment on whether we needed a domestic violence shelter here in Amarillo. We didn't have one before then, and of course we did because there wasn't any services available to help escape survivors as far as housing needs or safety needs where they could stay. So in 1982, the domestic violence shelter opened. So we're coming up on 40 years. We plan to recognize the accomplishments of the Safe House and the staff and volunteers that work there next year in 2022. So stay tuned for that. In 1983, the Domestic Violence Council merged with the Amarillo Rape Crisis and Sexual Abuse Services and established the Rape Crisis Domestic Violence Center. And in this picture here on this slide, that's actually Jim Walton. He is still one of our counselors here at Family Support Services, and this was when this was Family Guidance Center, Family Service of Amarillo. So now, well, in 1993, Rape Crisis and Domestic Violence Center merged with Family Guidance Center to form Family Support Services of Amarillo. So right now we have five divisions in FSS. We have Crisis Services, which serve survivors of domestic violence, sexual assault, emergency housing or emergency transitional housing, and that is our Safe House, which was formerly known as our Domestic Violence Shelter. We changed the name of that a couple of years ago to better reflect the services we provide. We do serve more than domestic violence survivors in the shelter, so we wanted to reflect that, as well as we provide more services than just shelter. We have our Veterans Resource Center, which was formed, it's going on, 2014 is when we opened the Veterans Resource Center. And we have our behavioral health, which has our counseling departments, and again, that's another division we changed the name of to better reflect the services. We didn't provide just counseling or only counseling. We actually provide intervention programs for batterers and other programs, which I'll mention here in a little bit, and also our education and prevention program, which 10 years ago that was our smallest program, and now it's our biggest because we actually try to head off problems before they start, and try to really put ourselves out of business at some point. I know that sounds like wishful thinking to a lot of people, but we really have that as a focus of our services. So crisis services, again, we have staff that provide face-to-face intervention services. A lot of the services are provided at Northwest Texas healthcare system, with our advocates on staff and our volunteers go out there and provide advocacy services on site to survivors and their families. That may be can be providing information, referrals, or a lot of times it's just maybe holding their hands and helping them through the process. So we're an accredited crisis volunteer advocate program. We are certified through the state of Texas, so we're very proud of that. We also provide support groups for domestic violence and sexual assault survivors. And recently we've started a support program for the parents of children who have gone through sexual assault and been victims of that. So we constantly evolve our programs based on best practices and provide services to those in need. And we do focus on partnering with other groups to address the issues we provide services for, such as the Domestic Violence Coalition, which we've revamped over the past few years and made a bigger focus on addressing the issues, including the high rate of domestic violence homicide in our area, as well as other issues. So emergency and transitional housing. We are the only provider of a safe house in Amarillo and Canyon. We do serve survivors from outside of our area too, when other cities either don't have a safe house or towns don't have a safe house, or their safe house may be full, and we do the same. As sometimes if our safe house is full, we may have to provide either a safe space elsewhere in the city, or actually help a survivor and their family get to another safe house somewhere in the state. We did create this division in 2018 to take advantage of the great staff we have on hand and their talents, as well as provide more of or emphasize more the need of this program. Historically it may have not been focused on. It was focused on, but we thought this would provide an opportunity to provide more focus on these actual issues. And we changed the name of the safe house or shelter to the Safe House. We have a 26-bed facility. We are brainstorming right now on ways to increase the beds, maybe not at that location, but we've had an endowment started at the Amarillo Area Foundation, or the process for an endowment, to at some point in the future either build a bigger facility or purchase a facility we can renovate to meet our needs. 26 beds is not a lot of beds, and again, we do reach capacity at some points and find ways to work around that. We also provide a 24-hour crisis hotline for survivors of domestic violence, sexual assault, human trafficking. That hotline is housed at our safe house and is manned 24 hours a day. And as far as behavioral health services, we do provide behavioral health services on site. More recently, with the issues of 2021, we've expanded our reach of our services by providing telehealth or teletherapy, where our counselors work with clients with audiovisual equipment. So that's been a positive development that has come out of the situation we all faced in 2021. So we do provide counseling to both individuals and families. We have had providers that provide equine assisted psychotherapy, cognitive behavioral therapy, lots of different kinds of therapy. All these therapies we provide, and the basis of this, a lot of them are addressing trauma issues. We do have clients who have experienced trauma in the past, the majority, I would say, and as well as we do have individuals referred to our counseling services through other programs such as the crisis services at the hospital or our safe house or Veterans Resource Center. Again, there's eye movement desensitization and reprocessing therapy, another very valuable technique. We do have the Battering Intervention and Prevention Program that is in the WAVE Women's Anger and Violence Program. Those are similar. The majority of those, 99% of the participants are court ordered to participate in these programs. They may be on probation, some on parole, but as part of their conditions, they have to go through this program, and it is meant to learn healthier ways to deal with relationships or be in relationships. And we also have our supervised visitation program, which is, if somebody's court ordered for supervised visitation, the custodial parent will bring their child or children into our facility, and the non-custodial parent can visit with the children and see them at our facility under supervision of our staff. Also play therapy, another great technique. All right, education and prevention services. Again, this was our smallest division a decade ago, and now it's our largest. We provide many programs, bullying prevention, substance abuse prevention. I'm not going to go in depth in all of these because it would take quite a while. We have very dedicated staff that are constantly working to enhance their skills. Very talented staff, so I'm proud of them. And I actually started out at Family Support Services a couple of decades ago. Well, yeah, as a prevention specialist in education, as well as working at the Safe House before I moved on to other agencies and came back to Family Support Services in 2013. So again, teen suicide prevention, Youth Advisory Committee. I would encourage you to visit our website to learn more about these programs and or visit with our staff. We'd be happy to give anybody a tour of our facility if they'd like to do that and learn more about our programs. Human trafficking prevention, that's been a big, there's been a big push for that over the past couple of years here. Strengthening families, that's been a very successful program where our staff work with families with children identified by the school districts as being at risk, whether it's truancy, bullying, depression. But these families, they come together once a week for about 14 weeks. And it sounds simple. They get together, have a meal, the kids go do their thing, the parents do their thing, they come back together. And of course, there's a lot of activities in there, but it's been a very successful program since its inception. We also have the kennel at our emergency safe house. We found that, between 70 and 80% of survivors, if their pet was involved in the situation, they would either not leave the abusive situation, would go back to the situation, or, it was just a huge factor of survivors seeking safety, because abusers many times will either threaten to kill the pet or actually harm or kill the pet to keep the survivor from leaving, or to, in their minds, retaliate against the survivor or seek retribution. So we're very happy about this program, and we were one of the first ones in the state to implement this. So we're very pleased with this and happy to be able to serve more survivors, and survivors that would not have left those abusive situations if we didn't have this kennel on site at our safe house. The Independence Program, I'm just going over a few of the specialized programs we have. This is a partnership we have with Neuro Community Care in Chapel Hills, North Carolina, and it's part of the Wounded Warrior Project, where a veteran in our community has been identified as being eligible for the program. They have a traumatic brain injury, other neurological conditions, as well as diagnosis of PTSD or another mental health diagnoses, is eligible for the program, and our staff go and work with them several hours a week, anywhere from 4 to 16, depending on their needs, and help them acclimate back in the community. And it's been a great program. Human trafficking, again, we've expanded and been the leader here in Amarillo, or one of the leaders, I should say. We have valuable community partners as far as putting together a trafficking coalition, and it's gotten a lot of community support, and we got a grant through the Buffett McCain Institute out in Arizona to support this program and have staff dedicated to addressing the issues of human trafficking. And the name of that coalition is Freedom in the 806. So I'd encourage you to research that and look at our website, look at their website that we've put together to learn more about this valuable service and resource we've helped create. Trauma-informed yoga therapy. We have that program. We have a certified counselor that is also a certified yoga instructor that leads this group. This is the first time that I can remember that we had a pilot grant for 1 year to see if this was something we would want to pursue in the future. We thought it would be valuable, and it was. The survivors of sexual assault is what the initial grant was aimed at, survivors. And it was a pilot program, and after 1 year we ended the project when we ran through the funding. And that was the first time I can remember that we've ended a program where participants in the program actually reached out and through email or telephone to me to say how valuable the program was and how much they wanted it to start again. So we did find other avenues of funding that project through grants from the state to continue that program. And there's a lot to it. And again, that would be something that would we would do presentations on that if you would like, or further discussion if you'd like to contact us. But it addresses the holistic person, and not just the physical, but also the emotional, mental. But again, any of these programs you see you'd like more information about, please reach out to us. Also, we have started providing counseling services to Canyon Independent School District as an enhancement to the school counselor services they provide. The school district had recognized that some of their students were having more intensive issues than could be addressed at the school or through the school, and so we partnered with them to have our counselors go down there or meet at our office or wherever they needed to be met at. So again, that's another one of our very successful, more recently developed programs. And here again is our Veterans Resource Center. It's a drop-in peer networking center. It's staffed by vets. We like to call it a one-stop shop where whatever need a veteran or family member has when they come in the doors, if we can't meet it on site, we will grab their hand and help them get to where that need can be met. And it started out as a mental health grant, and we do provide counseling services and have provided equine therapy and partner with a provider who provides service dogs. But we've also helped many homeless veterans get into housing, and we are very proud of our high success rates in that area, as well as find employment and have other needs met. And here's just a few of the services we have provided in our Veterans Resource Center. Okay, well, challenges. Funding is always a challenge as a nonprofit agency, so we find, I won't get into this too much, but again, as a nonprofit, we always seek new sources of funding that can help us address the needs we see and fund our vital programs. And of course, the other challenge, when I originally put this slideshow together, we saw facilities as a challenge, just because we had grown to where we had every nook and cranny at our main office filled. But shortly after I put this PowerPoint together, we lost our main office and our Veterans Resource Center in a fire in January of 2021. So we, thanks to all the community support we received from individuals, our supporters, and agencies throughout Amarillo and through the state, just an outpouring of support. It was very touching, all the reports. All the support we received, and through that support, we've been able to continue services. Working out of an office provided, for the first 6 months for free at Amarillo ISD. Cal Farley's provided us a space. Texas Panhandle Centers, just so many agencies. Guy and Saunders Resource Center, which is where our Veterans Resource Center is located as I record this, just been such fantastic support, and it really, it's so overwhelming, and we're so very thankful for everybody that helped us through that initial process. And as we record this, we're working on getting the renovations started at a brand new facility at 2209 Southwest 7th. It's a fantastic facility that will meet our needs for many years into the future. And it is a bigger facility than we originally had, and so our Veterans Resource Center will have more space. Our other programs will have more office space, such as counseling. So we're thankful for the opportunity that we have now, and are looking forward to continue our services and working with everyone in the community and all of our clients. We're very thankful for this opportunity. So I'm not going to go into too much of this here, but again, we always look to partner with others and avoid duplication. We don't want to duplicate what anybody else is doing. If somebody else is providing a program, and we've seen an opportunity, we would most likely not provide those services. We would work with the other provider and see how we can enhance those services and reach more people in need. So that's kind of what we're about. So ways to help. Again, we are working towards moving in, or at some point, hopefully soon, moving into our new facility. So any ways you can help with that, whether it's financially, through donations, or other ways, volunteering to help move furniture when we get open, that kind of thing. There's many ways to help. So you can if we have an opening that you find will fit your skill set, we'd be happy for you to join our team. Again, donations and also volunteering, both for programs such as our crisis services or Safe House, or also our special events we have each year. Of course, the past year, like 2021, we weren't able to have fundraisers per se. We had to cancel our annual Harley Party, which was our big fundraiser. We were lucky in that we were able to have our Mardi Gras fundraiser, and that was our largest Mardi Gras fundraiser. It was right after the fire, and the community support again was so overwhelming. But again, just any way you think you can help, we can most likely use your help. So thank you for your time spent listening to this. Again, if you'd like more information, please reach out to me. My email's there on the screen, as well as my phone number. So I appreciate your interest and look forward to speaking with you. If you'd like more information, and if you would like, stop by and see us. Have a good day.